God's blessings to everyone. This is a DGHradio.com news and information news update for the United States Virgin Islands, and I'm reporter DKS reporting the news for Thursday, October 9th, 2025, covering the latest developments from across the United States Virgin Islands. Marine transportation costs remain front and center after a packed sequence of public hearings across St. Thomas, St. John, and St. Croix on proposed increases to marine-related fees. Residents, commuters, and business owners voiced strong concerns that higher docking, pilotage, passenger, and parking charges would strain household budgets and push up the cost of goods. Port officials say the adjustments are aimed at repairing aging infrastructure, improving safety, and easing congestion at busy terminals. Many speakers urged a phased approach, commuter protections, and clear economic impact data before any vote. The authority is collecting written comments and has indicated that community feedback will be weighed alongside the territory's infrastructure needs. In the legislature, senators have approved a revised spending plan for the Water and Power Authority amid intense debate about rates, accountability, and the path to a more reliable grid. Supporters say the budget sustains critical services and continues gradual infrastructure upgrades, including efforts to introduce more renewable energy and reduce reliance on imported fuel. Skeptics point to past management problems and want firmer oversight, tighter reporting, and measurable milestones. The expectation is that performance will be monitored closely in the months ahead, with transparency a key demand from ratepayers who continue to shoulder some of the highest electricity costs in the nation. Tourism officials are launching a new winter season campaign, Naturally in Rhythm, designed to distinguish the Virgin Islands from generic Caribbean marketing. The concept emphasizes authentic cultural experiences, from music and food to history and eco-adventures across St. Croix, St. John, and St. Thomas. The plan blends digital outreach, partnerships, and influencer collaborations with the goal of attracting visitors who stay longer, spend in local establishments, and engage with community events. Tourism leaders say the focus on authenticity responds to post-pandemic travel trends and should broaden the economic benefits beyond resort corridors. On St. Thomas, the police department is preparing a crackdown on illegal parking in Charlotte Amalie to improve safety and traffic flow in narrow downtown streets. Officials say tickets will be issued to vehicles blocking crosswalks, double-parked cars, and those standing in clearly marked no parking zones. Towing is possible in serious cases. Business owners hope stricter enforcement will make the shopping district easier to navigate for residents and visitors alike. Authorities plan to couple enforcement with public awareness about legal parking options in nearby lots to reduce congestion while preserving accessibility. A major civil rights policy change is underway following an executive order establishing a clear process for residents to update the gender marker on government-issued identification. The order directs the Department of Health's Vital Records and the Bureau of Motor Vehicles to accept standardized documentation and issue revised records that reflect gender, not sex. Advocates say this closes a procedural gap, reduces administrative delays, and helps residents avoid mismatches that can complicate employment, travel, and everyday transactions. Agencies are updating forms and training staff to ensure consistent service across departments. Land use and environmental policy remain in the spotlight as lawmakers study a recent legal opinion addressing the validity of a controversial coastal permit for a marina on St. John. The opinion concludes the authorization remains in effect, clarifying a point that has been debated for years. Supporters see potential for jobs and marine amenities. Critics raise concerns about environmental impact and community access. Legislative leaders say they will evaluate the opinion thoroughly, while residents continue to press for transparent processes that balance development with preservation. The long-standing project to restore the Randall Doc James Racetrack on St. Croix gained momentum with a proposal to reprogram $5 million to complete key upgrades. Proponents tout the cultural and economic value of live racing, vendor opportunities, and event-driven tourism. Others urge careful oversight, firm timelines, and accountability given prior delays. Plans include resurfacing, safety improvements, and upgrades to patron areas, with some calling for phased openings that align with regulatory approvals and ensure a safe, sustainable return of the sport. The territory's emerging cannabis industry is moving toward launch. Regulators will host a compliance education summit early next month to guide applicants through track and trace systems, packaging and labeling, facility security, and record keeping. Officials emphasize that readiness and rule following are essential to award provisional approvals and move projects through inspections. With early cultivation decisions expected soon, the education effort aims to reduce preventable missteps, protect public health, and build confidence among patients, investors, and communities. Workforce development inside government marked a milestone as the third cohort of a financial and management training fellowship graduated, with new participants now entering the program. Fellows presented projects focused on process improvement, knowledge sharing, staff well-being, and operational efficiency across agencies. Leaders praised the program for cultivating homegrown talent and reducing the need to import specialized skills. The continued expansion is intended to strengthen oversight, budgeting, and service delivery for residents. In the courts, the parole board can proceed with regular applications under long-standing rules, while the judiciary evaluates legal questions surrounding a newer statute for elderly or medically vulnerable inmates. This adjustment keeps routine cases moving while ensuring the newer provision is reviewed thoroughly before decisions are made under that framework. The goal is to balance compassion, due process, and public safety in a small community where board membership and procedure are under close scrutiny. Also in the justice system, a St. Thomas murder case has been rescheduled with jury selection moved to next year to avoid conflicts with separate overlapping proceedings against the same defendant. The court cited logistical considerations and the need to coordinate across jurisdictions. Families and community members await resolution as the court prepares further rulings on motions and venue. On St. Croix, a double homicide trial ended in a mistrial after jurors could not reach a unanimous verdict, leaving prosecutors to determine next steps, including a possible retrial. Public health remains a priority. A school-based initiative will begin this month on St. Croix to identify and assist children at risk for diabetes, pairing screenings with family education on nutrition and physical activity. Organizers plan to expand to more schools, aiming to reduce complications later in life by intervening early. Health officials also advise continued vigilance after a modest uptick in COVID-19 cases, recommending up-to-date vaccinations, testing when symptomatic, and masks in crowded indoor spaces to protect vulnerable neighbors and minimize disruptions. Access to medications has been a concern after the closure of a major pharmacy location left some residents scrambling to transfer prescriptions. The Department of Health and local providers urge patients to contact pharmacies promptly to avoid gaps in treatment. Several pharmacies have extended hours to meet demand. The situation highlights the importance of contingency planning and stronger communication between providers when a large outlet changes operations. Finally, attention turns to the tropical storm. Jerry is strengthening over the Atlantic and is forecast to pass north of the Virgin Islands. Even without a direct strike, outer bands may bring squalls, rough surf, and localized flooding, especially in vulnerable areas and along exposed coasts. Emergency managers urge residents to review plans, secure loose items, and monitor official updates from the National Weather Service and the National Hurricane Center. Mariners and beachgoers should exercise caution as marine conditions can deteriorate before a storm's closest approach. These and other issues are of great concern within the islands and beyond. Let us know your thoughts by texting your comments to 1-315-898-14 and Troy 49. You can also join our WhatsApp group and get the news, share your views, and make requests. For your protection, do not include personally identifiable information in the text message. You will receive a call to verify your request. I'm your reporter, DKS, signing off for DGHradio.com. Remember, DKS and DGH together, we provide key facts, keen judgment, and honesty as we deliver global headlines, because on DGHradio.com, the news never sleeps. Goodbye for now. Ciao.